This is my student Mihai's hair before working with me. Now, this is his new hairstyle. Just look at these two photos, and you can see the difference in their hairstyle and his overall personality. That's the power of having a perfect hairstyle that not only matches your face shape, but actually elevates your personality. In this video, we'll break down how Mihai went from a boring buzz cut to achieving a perfect middle part hairstyle. So let's get started without wasting any time. Before we did anything else, I sent him Google Docs with a set of questions to better understand his hairstyle deeply, as well as what's on his mind. This is something I do with every student. It helped me uncover problems most guys don't even realize are holding them back. I asked him 4 questions. Is he experiencing any hair or scalp problem? Hair products he is using currently? Shared some hairstyle recommendations and asked him which hairstyle he wanted to go with. And finally, his hair care routine he was following back then. After reading their answers, I was fully confident I could help him get a perfect hairstyle. We had no idea yet what challenges would show up. The important question that I asked him was about his dream hairstyle, and he wanted to get this side part with just the right amount of height on top. But as I looked at his hair texture, face shape, and lifestyle, I could see more possibilities. I suggested a flow hairstyle, especially the middle part flow, because it has this effortless, natural movement that could really bring out his features while still keeping it versatile, and he was in. So my plan was to first get the middle part, or maybe the side part, and then go for the flow middle part. Then we can grow it into the flow style later. That way, he would have good hair at every stage. After a few days, Mihai sent me his photos, and when I looked at his photos, I noticed a few gaps in his hair. Small spots where the density was thinner, one near his crown and one toward the back. They weren't huge, bald patches, but they were visible enough that if left alone, they would stand out more as the hair grew. This is where most guys make their first mistake. They focus only on growing length, but ignore the health and density of the hair. And then 6 months later, they're wondering why the style looks thinner on one side or why a parting won't hold. Now, I could have just said, don't worry about it, but that's not how I work with my student. In my program, we start treating these things before they become bigger issues. So I told Mihai, we're gonna fix this from the start. We'll grow the length, yes, but we'll also work on making his hair healthier and thicker along the way. I told him to start using the scalp serum, 1 to 2 drops daily on the gaps, 10 to 15 drops over the entire scalp twice a week. This would also target hidden spots, if any. We talked about using a scalp massager. We talked about washing less often to keep his natural oils. Everything was on track. But then came our first challenge. A couple of weeks into my program, Mihai sent me a message. He'd been using a conditioner, pad drying his hair with a t-shirt instead of a towel, but after washing, his hair would stick out, like a Vietnamese rice hat, as he called it. It was better after a few days when natural oil set in, but fresh out of the shower, it just didn't sit right. I knew exactly what was going on. His hair was in that awkward phase where it hadn't learned to sit naturally. I explained that it is normal, especially for people with a little frizz or awkward length. I suggested pad dry gently with a microfiber towel or t-shirt. Use a small amount of argan oil after washing. He got the argan oil, used it, and a few days later, he sent me a picture. It works wonders, he said. At that moment, I realized we were back on track. After some weeks, it was time for his first proper trim during the program. I sent him exact instructions to give to the barber. Keep the sides and back clean. Use a block back shape, not tapered, to make growing into the flow easier later. Trim only the dead ends on top and try a rough side part just to see how it works. 30 minutes later, he was in the barber's chair. When the cut was done, he sent me the pictures. It wasn't perfect, but overall, it looked a lot better. The parting was not as clean as I wanted, and the sides were taken a bit too short. But this was a learning moment, one I tell all my students. Even a small miscommunication with your barber can set you back weeks. But now we knew exactly what to say for next time. A few days later, another problem came back. The shocked hair. We fixed part of it with the argan oil, but it still showed up now and then. I reminded him that this gets better as hair grows and learns to sit naturally. And every time he styled it with texture powder, it looked better. Slowly, the awkward face started to fade. About a month in, I asked him how the bald spots were doing. He said there was no visible change yet, but also no new ones appearing. That was a tiny progress. We agreed to keep going with the serum and wait a couple more weeks before checking again. I've also requested him to part his hair sometimes just to train his hair. By late March, Mihai told me something that got me excited. His hair was starting to part naturally in the middle. It was slight, but it was there. This was a good sign, not just for the middle part style, but also for the future flow style we'd planned. By late April, when his length was finally right for styling experiments, experiments, I told him we needed a round brush, a comb, sea salt spray, clay, and a blow dryer to get more volume and a sharper parting line. So on the 22nd of April, we had our big styling session where we first wanted to style his hair in the classic middle part style with a little height on top because the hair length is too short for a middle part yet. And then I walked him through the full process. These are the steps I asked him to follow to style his hair. Use texturizing spray on front, sides, and back. Comb all hair forward to spread product evenly. Part the hair from the side. Use the round brush and dryer to lift and shape. Apply clay to lock it in. The first result was pretty good. Not perfect, but a solid start. The side hairs were not fully trained yet, but we had the shape, the volume, and the hold. The left side was stubborn, refusing to settle. But I explained that hair can be trained. A week or two of consistent parting would fix it. As the weeks went by, Mihai sent me more and more photos. The bald spots were fading. The hair was sitting better without products. He could style both the middle and side parts. One day, he told me the middle part holds for 4 days after styling, even through workouts and sleep. That's when I knew we'd really hit something sustainable. At this point, he could style both the middle part and the side part with the same length. I encouraged him to keep switching styles so he wouldn't get bored. Today, Mihai is rocking the middle part. That perfectly suits his face, with the length we need to grow into the full flow style. By this point, Mihai had reached a stage where people could see the difference without knowing the backstory. His hair looked thicker, the shape suited his face, the frizz was under control. We were not just working on a hairstyle anymore. We were building a system for him. He's got a hairstyle that he can wear multiple ways, a clear styling routine that keeps it looking sharp, clear instructions for future barbers, a hair care routine he could keep forever, the confidence to experiment without fear of messing it up. Looking back, Mihai's journey had all the highs and lows you expect in life. Today, Mihai's hair is not just good. It fits his style, his lifestyle, and his confidence. If you're on your own hair journey, remember that the perfect hairstyle is not found. It is built step by step, cut by cut, day by day. And sometimes the problems are what makes the final results even better. If you're watching this thinking, that could never be me, just remember, Mihai said the exact same thing 6 months ago. Mihai is not the only success story. I have worked with tens of other people in my coaching program, and I will share their results in the future for sure. If you want to join my coaching program and be the next Mihai, a few slots are open and limited as well because I work with every single student personally. So if you want my help getting your perfect hairstyle, this is your chance to do that. If you want to know why you should work with me, watch this video next, where I have shared everything you need to know to work with me.